Hey guys, it's Max. I'm here in San Diego at Sony's press event for the new A6400 that was just announced. As you guys know, I was really hoping for an A7S III, which we didn't get, but with that said, this thing is packing a lot of features and a lot of punch, and there's a couple things that are really standing out and they're really impressive, even though this is kind of a mid-level APS-C camera. Now, just so you know, this is my first impressions with this camera. I am going to be here for a couple more days shooting this camera, using it in a bunch of scenarios. So if you want to see my full detailed review for video shooters, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and enable those notifications. Now, the biggest standout feature of the A6400, something we've been asking for a long time, is the ability to have a flip-up screen. For all of you vloggers out there, this helps a ton, and in this situation, me shooting myself right now, it would be so helpful to have a screen that flips up on my A7 III, or even better, flips to the side. So we don't have a screen that flips to the side, but it does flip up, and we still have an EVF. A lot of people were thinking that this is going to get removed on this camera, just like the A5100. We still do have the EVF. And now, of course, if you do put a microphone on top of here, your screen will be blocked. That is a big downside with having a screen that flips up. That's why my preference is for it to flip out to the side. Now, before I take you along to go shooting with you, there's a couple more things that I want to mention. First off, this thing has the same processor as the Sony A9, their flagship camera, in a mid-level APS-C camera. What that means is it's going to have a ton of processing power for the 4K video and for the new real-time autofocusing tracking. Now Sony's finally catching up and giving us a good usable solution for being able to just touch on the screen and tracking subjects just like you can with Canon cameras and with other cameras. So yes, the A6400 is missing IBIS, and that is a disappointment, especially for vloggers, because having that extra stabilization is really nice. But there's a couple of really standout features that put it, for me personally, above the A6500, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But first, let's go do some shooting. Now, right off the bat, I have one good thing to let you guys know about, and another thing that's not as good. Now, as far as the touch autofocusing for video, where you just touch just like on a Canon camera, that does work in 4K, but as soon as you switch to 120 frames per second in 1080p, that would be great to be able to touch on your subject, especially for sports, and track them. That mode is unavailable. Now, on the flip side, I think the biggest deal here is that we no longer have dimming of the screen. That's like my biggest downside of the A6300, the A6500. When you shoot 4K or 1080p 120, the screen would dim and be almost unviewable outside. And now Sony has managed to fix that, even though we do have the same batteries inside of here, the same small little batteries. They didn't change it. So the screen no longer dims, and it is quite bright. So that is some fantastic news for everybody who's shooting video outdoors. So let's test out the touch autofocusing. I switched lenses here to get a little bit closer. I'm gonna touch on the subject, and you go ahead, do your thing. No, go ahead, go ahead. It's a perfect test. So here I have kind of some branches in the way. I'm gonna tap on her face, and it's picking it up. It's actually picking up her eye and tracking it. Even though some branches here are getting in the shot, it's not having a problem.
Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna bounce off you and do an autofocus test too. Zoomed all the way in on the face.
Okay.
So let's do another test here. I'm gonna just track an object instead of a face here. So here we go. My camera, what you guys are seeing from, is with a black background, and it's all black, just kind of blending in. Here, as you guys can see, it's still picking it up and doing a great job staying on that. I'll be testing this out more in the next couple of days, so make sure you guys are subscribed for the full review. Alright guys, so I'm going to wrap up my hands-on first look with the A6400. It's going to be a very capable camera. I think it's going to sell really well, especially with the flip screen now. I do wish it was towards the side. but at least we have this. We still have a mic jack, and the biggest improvement, I think the biggest thing for me, is that the screen doesn't dim, and that is huge if you've used the A63 or the A6500. So personally, I would choose this over even the A6500, even though it does suck that we don't have IBIS in here, but a lot of the lenses do have stabilization built in. So make sure you guys are subscribed and have those notifications enabled. So if you guys want to check out my full detailed review that I'm going to be doing with this camera, shooting everything on it, vlog style, you guys don't want to miss out on that. Thanks for watching. This has been Max, and I'll see you in the next one.